Hello and welcome. I'm your host Grant Johnson from Red News, and I'm here to talk about the news for today. For today's podcast recording, I'm going to be talking about the Italian mob boss, Matteo Messina Denaro, that had just recently passed away from cancer. On September 25th, the infamous Italian mob boss named Matteo Messina Denaro had passed away from cancer after months of being detained by the Italian police for his life of crime. Now, Mr. Denaro was arrested back in January for his involvement in the Italian mob and avoiding law enforcement for at least 30 years. During that period of 30 years on the run, Mr. Denaro was experiencing several health problems that eventually caught up with him and eventually took his life. Mr. Denaro was also a prominent figure within the Italian mob, which resulted in the deaths of several people across Italy and abroad. Matteo Messina Denaro, up until 2016, had lived among the people of Sicily. He was not noticed by law enforcement until early January of 2023. Many people that lived around the Italian mafia will not think of him in a fond way and will only see him as a cruel individual who has hurt several people across Italy. That will be all for today's podcast recording, but if you didn't already, follow the Red News official podcast on such platforms including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and other such platforms where you can listen to the Red News Official Podcast. You can also support the Red News Official Podcast on Patreon as well. For more Red News, you can go to the Red News Official website where you can read up on news articles and follow the social media links provided on the Red News website. Thank you for listening to the Red News Official Podcast. I am your host, Grant Johnson from Red News, and I will catch you in the next one.